Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this morning's edition of Contracting Chatter. Grab your business bestie, your contractor's notebook, your favorite beverage. We have some things to talk about this morning. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? How are we doing this morning? Get the likes up, get the shares up, grab your business partner. We're talking. This is going to be a brief announcement post. I don't think I'm going to be live long this morning because we're in a. Don't forget Thursday. I'm having contractors roundtable where I'm discussing government certifications. We're talking about the difference between set asides and goals. One thing I've noticed is everybody thinks every certification does the same thing. No, they don't. So we need to talk about that. So join the contractors roundtable. I'm not streaming it live, so if you're not registered, you don't get the registration link. So sign up for the class and get an obtain an understanding of exactly what government certifications do for your business. Anybody who's followed me for any period of time will know I personally think the only certification you need is the 8A. If you're a veteran, the veteran one, both of those do you wonders. All the others, you can scale, grow, become a multi-million-dollar business, and you don't need the others. But I'm going to explain what they are, tell you what they do, and then you'll understand my perspective. I'll never tell anybody what to do, but once you go through the round table and we have that discussion, you'll understand my perspective. So that's Thursday, August 1st at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Register for the class, and I'll see you Thursday. The registration page is up everywhere. If you don't see it, let me know. DM me, I'll send you the link. Join my main email list. I always email my list first. So my email list always get first crack at all of my roundtables, summits, events. They know about them first. So if you're on the email list, you'll know first. If you join Chatter Family, you have an automatic seat at the round table. Chatter Family is $9.99 a month. It includes exclusive sessions, a newsletter, and some other perks and goodies. Good morning, Moses. So we have the roundtable Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which discusses and differentiates between the different classifications of certifications and what they do. We have a couple of other things coming up. We have the Contractors Intensive, which is September 19th and 20th. We have the Believers in Business event, which is November 4th. And I'm doing a contracting challenge. It's a 30-day challenge, which begins October 1st. I'm also doing a Welcome to FY 2025. I do that every year, a welcome to the beginning of the new contracting year. So whatever October 1st falls on, I always do a welcome to whatever that fiscal year is. October 21st. October 1st. So there's a lot coming up. As I said, if you're on my mailing list, you have the updates first. If you're a member of Chatter Family, you have an automatic seat at the table, figuratively speaking. For the roundtables and the masterclass, not for the events. Only members of the masterminds get an automatic seat to the events. So, what's going on in government contracting? Quite frankly, there's a whole lot and not a lot going on in government contracting. I believe they said it's 95 days away from the election. And that seems to be dominating everything. The new president will submit the FY26 budget. The assassination attempt against Trump has opened the conversation on the fact that Congress hasn't passed an actual budget in God knows how long. And it also highlighted or brought to the forefront that the FBI and the Secret Service budgets have been cut. I know FBI's, I can't remember which department of the FBI, saw a $500 million budget cut between FY23 and FY24. $500 million is a lot of money. And they have a lot of agents who are retiring or because of policy have to come out of the field. So that's a lot of money. And they don't have the money to replace these agents to put more agents in the field. That was something that we learned during the hearings. Secret Service, likewise, was doing budget cuts. That money was diverted into other spending. Once again, who sits on Pennsylvania Avenue influences the flow of money. That money was redirected in other ways, which is why low-hanging fruit season is so important. Every federal agency has to obligate its money during this season. And then they have to submit a budget for their agency during the season. This is education time. So they're not only obligating their current pool of money, they're presenting a budget for the next fiscal year. What they submit during this time is taken into consideration by the president when the president makes up the next budget. The president presents the budget to Congress. Congress then looks at the budget, the various committees looks at it, says, okay, we'll adopt it in part, in whole or in part. Or the committees say, no, we think this is too much. No, we think it's not enough. Or they say, well, we feel like the money is better spent in other ways, and redo the budget. That's where the famous pork comes from. And all pork means is they attach other spending to that spending, which means a bill can come through for, I'm trying to remember a famous spending bill that they keep, it's a famous talking point they keep talking about that got voted down, but it was voted down because of all these attachments that was put to it. So you have to read between the lines. A lot of bills don't see the funding or the light of day because of all these other attachments. Healthcare bill. There was a healthcare bill that was voted down. That seems bad, doesn't it? However, some of the attachments to the bill was funding for the Ukraine. Now, what does funding the Ukraine have to do with our healthcare? Absolutely nothing. But that's what they do. They attach stuff that wouldn't get approved otherwise to bills that they think they won't vote against, because they don't want to look bad in front of the people. And because there's no such thing as the line item veto, and because most times whatever party doesn't have enough votes to override the bill as it stands, the whole thing just gets shot down. That's how the process currently works for whatever reason. Now, I understand not giving the president line item veto. I didn't understand it at first, but I understand it now. It's because they did not want to give the presidential branch authority over the congressional branch. Congress controls the purse strings. The president, is to maintain that balance of power. So Congress controls the purse, but you allow the president to say no, 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 no. Who's really controlling the purse? Congress or the president? So I get it. I still think there's a compromise. However, when the government was set up, they couldn't come up with anything else. So the president submits the budget, Congress passed the budget. The only thing they gave the president the right to do is veto a budget he doesn't like. If Congress wants to pass that budget anyway, they have to come up, I think the vote is 3/5 to override a veto. And that's for anything, budget, legislation, whatever. If the president vetoes it, they have to come up with a 3/5 vote to override a veto. That's balance of power. So that's how, which is why the president sends his representative to Congress to do a lot of wheeling and dealing and snoozing. How can I get you on my side? How can I get you to see my perspective? That is why being no- being a that is why you have to see the platform that everybody is running on and see where they're coming from. You have to understand the platform, the political platforms that everybody is running on. Because the person who is on Pennsylvania Avenue influences the flow of dollars. So I hope y'all understand the flow of money. I've always said on my platform, anybody who's visiting DC should attend one of the appropriation hearings so you can get a live understanding of how it works. It's an eye-opener. It's an eye-opening experience. Now back to it's just an eye-opening experience especially for government contractors. Now back to we're in the middle of fourth quarter and for government contractors. And funds are obligating quickly. You should also be working on your FY25 plan. Not a Q1 plan, your plan for the year. Remember, government contractor have their eye in the present and their eye in the future. So your FY25 plan should be taking shape. And whoever wins the election, whoever it is, it should be just a matter of making a few simple tweaks or adjustment to your contracting plan based upon who wins. Now, if you have a certain contract mix, it shouldn't matter that much. If you're a defense contractor, I really don't think it's going to matter that much when you look at the geopolitical climate. I was trying to find this article I was reading. Our Air Force is looking to strengthen all of our air bases because they haven't been strengthened in a long time. So that's a contract, especially if you're in construction. Please stop sending me go live requests. I'm not participating in that. That's not what this platform is for, especially if you haven't commented in my comment section. I'm sorry for everybody else. That's because I'm live on TikTok. And TikTok is running some sort of competition. So that's a construction contract. Now, as I was talking to one of my clients, if your budget isn't including bonds, insurance, and certification, your bids are too low. That's why you're losing out. I'm gonna go here. If you're a construction person, or if you do surveys, if you perform, I'm trying to think of what it's called because it fell out my head as soon as I went to name it. Anyway, survey, construction, you're the person who schematics, any of that. And you're doing work or you want to do work with the military, you should budget for clearances. At least somebody on your team obtaining a clearance. That is why I talk to my community about getting your credit straight. or having good credit. Bad credit will keep you from getting a security clearance. And I know somebody is saying, why do I need a security clearance? Because access to certain areas of military installation requires a clearance. I'm not necessarily talking about a TSSCI. I'm talking about a basic clearance. And if your credit is jacked up enough, you can't get a basic clearance. It is what it is. So if you're trying to do work with the government and you're trying to do construction work and the government is doing some renovation and some upkeep of some of the military bases and just some of the government buildings in and of itself, some area requires the workers to have clearance. And if your staff or your team cannot be cleared, and let me tell you, there's no such thing as, well, I'll bid these people and then let the uncleared people work anyway. No, there isn't, because the military gives out the badges, and they will only badge cleared people. So keep that in mind. So that's just something you need to consider as a part of your strategy. There's opportunities out there if you prepare for it. And cleaning up your credit isn't as cumbersome as you think it is. There just isn't an overnight pill. We've all gone through something. Job losses, job moves, companies close, the Great Reset, all of it. We've gone through all of it. It just takes time. You will never have an overnight fix to something that took months to destroy. It just is what it is. So planning to take time to fix what took months to destroy is just common sense. And with that, planning now for FY25 is key. Remember, we talked about yesterday knowing what season you're in. Are you in your harvest season or are you in your planting season? I'm telling you now, you should be harvesting your summer crop and planting your winter crop. That's what season you should be in. Harvesting your summer crop and planting your winter crop. You should have two crops going on. If you missed yesterday's installment, go to my YouTube channel and you can watch it. And you can watch any episode that you've missed. They're all on my YouTube channel under the contracting chatter. You can watch all of them. But you have to understand the season that you're in. Because some of you are eating your seed and you can't, and then wondering why you can't harvest. Because you ate your seed. Some of you are trying to harvest and you haven't even broke the soil. And it just is what it is. You haven't broke the soil. And then you're like, but my harvest is not coming in, honey, because you need to break the soil. You need to till. You haven't put any water down. You don't have no fertilizer, let alone the seed. You haven't done any of it. And then you're sitting here talking about no harvest. You haven't done anything. And then some of you are expecting apples and you planted grapefruit. We don't even want to go there. But understand the harvest that you're planting, the season that you're in. Then you can reap the proper crops. I mean, you have to get this. Stop listening to these overnight gurus. I was just, before I jumped on live, there was this ad, stop buying courses. Okay, just download my template that will automatically populate this shop for you. And here's the danger of that. Even if the template works, how does it work? Are there terms and conditions, the terms and conditions you want in your company? Stop this overnight quick fix nonsense. Now, I'm not telling you not to do it. It sounds great to have somebody develop a template for you that'll set up your business in your shop. But you still need to know how to run it. So buy a course. Learn how to write terms and conditions that are legally binding. Notice hear what I said, legally binding. Because a legally binding term and condition in Montana are not legally binding in Texas. And yet a lot of people are just getting these $27 fixes, and then when they get in trouble, they're finding out they're not legally binding in their area. I'm a compliance officer, and I'm telling you, some of these things, they're well-meaning people are giving you incomplete information. And because you don't want to spend the money or the time, it's how people end up tripped up. I was asked the question yesterday, how do new businesses get started? You have to, one, do a little bit of research, and two, you have to eventually invest some money. I believe it was Business Insider who said $85,000 at minimum over the first 3 years is what you need to invest in your business. And if you don't want to invest that, I don't know what to tell you. And for those who say I don't have it, I don't play spades. However, I've heard this phrase, scared money don't make no money. It's allegedly a spade trade. If you don't ever take the money and reinvest it in your business, you will never make money. And fortunately, here's the truth. Initially in your business, every dollar you make, you will reinvest in your business before you see a profit. That is why the IRS allows you 5 years before they declare your business a hobby. 5 years of no profit. And then I'm going to go here. Let's go a little bit higher to go narrow and to go deeper. Everybody knows Uber, right? Before Uber issued their IPO and the IPO stocks, Uber was millions of dollars in the hole. You have to understand where you are and where you're at and what you're doing. You didn't know why they were millions of dollars in the hole. What I mean in the hole was their profit and loss statements showed a loss. Do you know why? Because they took their money and reinvested in the business. So you thinking you're supposed to make a profit after the first year, I don't know where you got that idea from. I don't know who told you that. And that's one of the biggest mistakes a lot of new businesses think. They're supposed to have a profit after year one, or they're supposed to be profitable after year two. Not always. And remember, you pay your staff, you pay your expenses, you pay yourself, and you pay your business. And with that, I invite you back to join me tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for another installment of Contracting Chatter. August 1st, I'm having a roundtable discussion, Contractors Roundtable on government certifications. Sign up because I'm not streaming that. That's a special roundtable. So sign up for that roundtable discussion so you understand what a certification is. What I've learned in my time in government contracting is most people don't understand what it is and what they do. And I'm going to drop this bomb before I close. Certifications do not guarantee you a contract. So next time somebody tells you, get certified, it guarantees your contract, they're lying. Certifications do not guarantee you a contract. So, have an amazing day. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. for another installment of Contracting Chatter. I'm your host, Luciana Turner, the founder of the LT&A Consulting Group, a government contracting consulting firm. Have an amazing day.